According to the World Bank, India has the highest number of poor in the world. That is, India is suffering from maximum number of poverty. While on the other hand, our very own neighbor, China, is famous for bringing people out from poverty by taking some revolutionary steps. That is what we will be looking into today's video. Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be talking about the status of poverty in India and what India can learn from China by bringing its people out from poverty. So before starting, let us first see this. Okay, Drishti IAS is coming with IAS Prelims batch for the people who are targeting 2023 exam. So you can enroll in this, and the batch is commencing from 28th October, and it is in the online mode. And for further details you can click on the link which is given in the description. So now let us look at the timeline of the video. First we will be looking at the news. Then what is extreme poverty, India's poverty levels, and India's problem that is coming in between while dealing with poverty and for bringing people out from poverty. Then what India can learn from China, or what are the steps that are taken by China, and how did China did so much by bringing people out from poverty, and what are the steps that China took. Then in the end we'll be looking into a prelims MCQ and a mains practice question. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 2, poverty and developmental issues. See, from prelims point this can come and might not come also, but very important topic from mains perspective and also from essay. So from mains you should be able to know that what is extreme poverty, then what is India's poverty level, and then what India can learn from China and what the steps that China has taken to bring its people out from poverty. So let's get started and see the news. And this news has been taken from Explain Speaking section from Indian Express, and it says, how China reduced poverty, lessons for India. China world over is famously known for bringing its people out from poverty levels and bringing them onto the level where they can live a very decent life. And while on the other hand, the World Bank report which has recently been published shows that the maximum number of poor people, or the people suffering from extreme poverty, is living in India. So what has happened is that I've already told you that recently the World Bank has released its report on global poverty, and it has said that even though India was suffering from poverty, but the two recent events of COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war has added and has did worst for the people of India. Even though India was suffering from poverty, but we were taking steps and people were coming out of poverty, and we were doing quite decently since the time of 2010 and 2015. But COVID-19 pandemic and Russia-Ukraine war has further pushed people into poverty line, or has made people stand on the line which is marginally on the other hand from poverty. So this is a outright reversal which is being seen in India after the COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war. Outright reversal means that people were trying to come out of poverty and the government was taking good steps to bring people out of poverty, but now the trend is getting reversed, that people again are moving towards poverty line. So that is why it is called outright reversal. And poverty reduction is already slowing down since 2019, but now it has become worst from 2019, 20 and 2021. And the goal of ending poverty, which was year 2030, very important point, that what was the goal by which poverty could be ended, or what was the targeted goal? It was the year 2030, but now the goal of ending poverty by 2030 looks unlikely. Now let us talk about that what is extreme poverty. Lot of time we hear the word extreme poverty, but what does this mean? Okay, according to the World Bank, and whenever we talk about World Bank, it means something is credible. So these points become very important for you to write in your answer writing practice, and you can also note down in your essay paper also, because these kind of topics are very important from essay perspective also. And when something is said on behalf of the World Bank, it becomes all the more important. Then the World Bank has said that, and the World Bank takes out poverty on consumption level, that how much people are consuming or how much people are earning. That is how World Bank calculates poverty. So consumption level poverty, that is called also the poverty line, and at present the benchmark which has been set by the World Bank is $2.15. Very important prelims point and also mains point. So what is the present benchmark which World Bank says is how much? It is $2.15. So according to the World Bank, the present benchmark for poverty is $2.15. And in 2019, around 648 million people were under poverty, under extreme poverty. And this $2.15, how much it would be, you must be thinking. Okay, 2.15, if we will calculate in terms of dollars, then it will be into, you can say 80 or 81 or 79, approx we can say 170 rupees. Because $2.15 into rupees would be around 170 rupees. But that is not the case, because this 2.15, what does it mean? It means it is based on purchasing power parity. So it is based on purchasing power parity. This $2.15 is based on purchasing power parity. What does purchasing power parity means? Purchasing power parity means, okay, what people in India can buy with $2.15 is same what people in America or in US can buy in $2.15. That is what people in different countries can buy with same amount of money. This is what the purchasing power parity means. So this 2.15 is based on purchasing power parity. And in India, this purchasing power parity of 2.15 is not equivalent to 170 rupees. Because what people in US can buy in $2.15 is not what people in India, the same people would be able to buy, because that is different, because different countries have different values and different countries have different prices. So we need to calculate it in terms of different countries. In US or America, what people can buy with same amount is not exactly the same what people in India can buy with the same amount. So from different countries perspective, we need to convert it into different terms. So this $2.15, which is based on purchasing power parity, in India it is equivalent to rupees 46, not rupees 170, because we need to convert it. So that $2.15 becomes rupees 46 in India, because the price of the same good is different in different countries. The inflation level is different in different countries. The crude oil prices is different in different countries. The exchange rate is different in different countries. So that is why we need to convert it. Any Indian who spends less than rupees 46 a day in total would be considered living in extreme poverty. So in India, someone who is not even earning rupees 46 and is not able to spend rupees 46 would be considered under extreme poverty. International poverty line is revised periodically, and after every few years the international poverty line is revised, because it depends on many factors. And so it started in 1990 when it was $1 a day. This was considered to be the poverty line. $1 a day in 1990 using the 1985 prices. See, these points become very important because this will let you help in understanding that how the things are moving over the years. So in 1990 it was $1 a day using 1985 prices. So this changed in 1993 and the amount became $1.08 a day. Then in 2005 this even raised to $1.25 a day. In 2011 this raised to $1.90 a day. And recently the World Bank has upgraded it and it says $2.15 a day, and which is based on 2017 prices. Very, very important point from both prelims, mains and essay perspective. That what is the current scenario? It is $2.15 based on 2017 prices. So this was all about extreme poverty. Now let us understand what are India's poverty levels. So India is the country with the highest number of poor people. Important point, very important fact, that which country has the highest number of poor people? It is India. And the number of people living in abject poverty has increased by 56 million in 2020. So in 2020, only in a single year, the people living in poverty has increased by 56 million. And this was the reason because of COVID pandemic, people moved into poverty. Because there was unemployment, people could not open their shops and the economy was not running. People did not know what to do and how to earn their livelihoods. And especially the daily wage earners were seeing a lot of hardships. Then almost 80% of the total 70 million the world over poor people are in India. About 80%. It means 8 people out of 10 are from India. 8 out of every 10 people in the world are from India. Then close to 600 million Indians survive at less than $3.65. This is the most problematic thing which we as a country are facing, that the people around which are close to 600 million which survive at less than, I'm again repeating, less than 3.65, that is around rupees 84 on the basis of purchasing power parity, a day level of expenditure. So you can imagine 600 million is a lot of numbers. So the people who are living at the line, at the edge of the poverty line is around 600 million. So it is not because they are just on the line of extreme poverty cannot be considered who are well off. No, they are also the people who are suffering, and this is what is creating the problem, that the gap, the inequality gap in India is increasing with each passing year, and this is what is causing the problem, that India already has the highest number of poor people who are suffering from extreme poverty, while on the other hand the people who are living on the edge, on the line, are also very large in numbers. So this was about India's poverty level, very important means answer writing practice and from essay perspective. Okay, look at this chart, the global extreme poor. So the continent which contributes maximum to the global extreme poor is Africa. But when it comes to country-wise, the country who's contributing the maximum amount of poor people or people who are suffering from poverty is India. Look at this. India has a large share. This is India. This dark blue color is full South Asia, and out of this South Asia, this is what is India's share in this. So as a country, India has the highest number of poor people in the world. Now let us talk about that. What are India's problem? There are many problems that India is suffering from, but what are the major problems that we are seeing? First and foremost is the widespread unemployment. Unemployment is one of the major problems in India, that people do not have work to do and people do not know what to do. They are sitting ideally, and this is even one of the biggest reasons that people are moving towards bad habits or people are moving towards crime. So unemployment is what is creating problem. Then second is widening inequalities. The rich is becoming richer and the poor is becoming poorer. And with each passing year, the inequality in India is also increasing, while the inequality index also shows that in India the inequality is increasing. As I've already told you that even though we have the highest number of poor people in India, but that does not mean that the people who are above the line of poverty are living a good life. No, the people living on the edge of the poverty line is also a lot of numbers. There are a lot of people who are living just on the poverty line. Then deepening poverty. Deepening poverty means that people who are going into the poverty are not able to come out of the poverty. It is that people are living for years and years in poverty. These three are the major reasons or the problems that India is suffering. And the problem is also the policies which are coming. See, these are not the problems which can get solved in 1 year or 2 years. These are the problems which takes a lot of time and will be handled on gradual basis, slowly and steadily. But this is what will require good governance, good policies. This will require actual good policy solutions, because poverty is not something that a government can take away in a year or so. No, it will require a lot many years. Be it 5, 10, 20 years. But this is a very slow process which will go on, because you cannot bring so many people out of poverty in a single go. For this, what you need to do? You need to create employment. You need to narrow the inequality gap, and you need to bring people slowly out of the poverty, so that even if the problem occurs, there should be a 1 or the 2 earning members in a family. This is what is creating problem in a family, that there are no bread earners. There's a single person who is running a family of 4 to 5 people. So something happens to the single bread earner, the whole family suffers and the whole family move into poverty. Now let us talk about that what India can learn from China. Globally, China has been recognized to have elevated poverty at historically unprecedented speed and scale. So this is something, a good aspect that we can learn from our neighbor, that what they have done for their people to bring them out of poverty. Between 1978 and 2019, China's poverty headcount dropped from 770 million to 5.5 million people. Extremely important point. This is what tells us that our neighbor has done something exceptionally good over the years, because this is a huge gap from 770 million to 5.5 million people. It means they have brought 765 million people out of poverty. So China lifted 765 million people from extreme poverty in the past 4 decades. So in the last 40 years, China has brought 765 million people. That is around 76.5 crore. This is an commendable effort. If you will see that even we can do this, and we can take measures same as what China has done for its people. And every year China has pulled 19 million, that is 1.9 crore poor people out of extreme poverty for the past 40 years. So let's see that what have they done so well that we can learn from them. And almost 75% of the global reduction in poverty rate has happened in China, and China has declared that it has eradicated extreme poverty. Something which as a country India is looking to do but is not able to do, and COVID pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war has added on to the hardships that as a country we were facing. And China has also said that they are building a moderately prosperous society in all respects. Okay, see this chart. This is poor people population. So and this is extreme poverty chart. So during 1981, the poor people, extreme poverty people who were suffering from extreme poverty, they were around 850 million. But see, this is going down in case of China. By 2017, the number of poor people or the people suffering from extreme poverty are very low. So this is what has been a tremendous improvement or steps that China has taken. Life expectancy at birth in China has been increased from 66 years, which was in 1978, to 77 years. It means people are working on health and are living a healthy lifestyle. While the infant mortality rate has decreased from 52 in 1978 to 6.8 per thousand infant in 2019. It means they are working towards healthcare a lot. Then the country also universalized basic and secondary education. See, this is the most important part. When a country will focus on education, then what does education bring? Education brings itself a lot of things. Education will bring a good lifestyle. Education will bring you employment. Education will bring you good health, and you will understand and develop good healthy habits. And overall, what will happen? Overall, you will be able to add to the economy, and this is how the country will also prosper and move forward. Then the rising position in the Human Development Index also. In 1990, China's position was 106, while in 2019 it has come up to 85. Now let us see that how did China achieve so much, and what. And these are the things that India as a country can also adopt from China. And the first and the foremost thing is rapid economic growth, because China has focused a lot on industrialization. So rapid economic growth is important, because rapid economic growth will lead you to employment, will lead you to, when employment will lead you to better living standards, and better living standards will lead you to good health. And this is how the positive aspect in the economy will move. And the rapid economic growth is supported by broad-based economic transformation. And that economic transformation can only be achieved by, how? It can only be achieved by industrialization. It can only be achieved by bringing more and more service sector in the economy. And China's poverty reduction is a success story, is a growth story. And the reforms began there. China made all these reforms first in the agricultural sector, so that the poor people who are working in the agriculture sector can also take benefit from it. And the development of slow skilled and labor intensive industries, because labor intensive industries, increase in the labor intensive industry means lot of employment, and lot of employment means people are working. People are working means they are earning, and they are earning means there is flow of money or capital in the economy. Then comes urbanization. Urbanization means migration, people migrating from rural areas to urban areas. And when people go to urban areas for work and they find work, then they transfer money back to their people, and this is what is called migrant transfer. So when migrant transfer also increases, it means people are earning good sum of money. Then public investment in infrastructure, because if infrastructure would improve, then capital expenditure is taking place, and that will also lead to employment, and the movability and the connectivity and the accessibility between things and between places will also increase. Okay, see this. The two pillars of China's approach to poverty reduction. First is broad-based economic transformation that we just talked about, and the second is poverty elevation strategies. And broad-based economic transformation includes agricultural productivity, growing of agricultural productivity. Then comes industrialization, as I've just told you. Then urban and rural, urban migration and infrastructure. This is what we have done, this aspect, and now we will be doing the poverty alleviation strategies, and that include area based poverty alleviation strategies. Then comes social protection policies and targeted poverty alleviation strategy. Okay, second pillar is government policies to alleviate persistent poverty. See, persistent poverty cannot be removed in a 1 year or 2 year. It needs a lot of years of time, and China has also been able to do it in 40 years. So we also need the same amount of time. If we want to do it little less time, then we even need more governance, better governance. Then targeted areas disadvantaged by geography and a lack of economic opportunities. So these kind of areas need to be focused on. That is, the poor people need to be focused on and need to be thought that what need to be done for them to bring them into the working sector. Then development oriented strategies need to be seen so that more and more employment can be created. Economic opportunities can be done. And while the specific programs like social assistance, social insurance, social welfare and other targeted social policies needs to be come into picture. Okay, see this chart. This will again show the economic growth in China. See this red line is what is showing the economic growth or the per capita growth in China, and you can see that from 1990 levels to the 2018 level it is increasing. While the second chart shows the employment sector. See this red line again. What is it doing? From 1970s level to 2018 level, it is increasing. So this is how things takes place slowly, gradually over the years. So now we come to the prelims MCQ. I know the session was little lengthy, but it was good. So because this is an important point and an important topic from both mains and essay perspective. So you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section, and this says consider the following statement. First, anyone living on less than $2.15 a day is considered to be living in extreme poverty. And second is any Indian who spends less than ₹46 a day in total is considered to be living in extreme poverty. I think you will be able to do this one. You need to tell the correct answer. Codes are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Last aspect is the mains practice question, and it is a 10 marker, and it says, according to World Bank, India is suffering from extreme poverty. What measures can India take from China's model to overcome poverty? Command given here is analyze. So you can do your answer writing practice, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.